how to reverse engineer a password stealer. So password stealer is essentially a program that tries to get your login credentials of a game or a website by showing you a program in which you need to type this username or password. So let's get started. First, let's go to YouTube and we'll search for RuneScape membership hack. So RuneScape is actually a game in which you can collect resources and train a character and become better and better. There is the free mode, and there is also you can also become a member. Now, if we type in YouTube, for example, RuneScape membership hack, we can see a lot of links which link to a program which might be able to give you might be able to make you member, but of course those are all viruses. Most of the time those are password stealers, so they try to make you log in into a program. So after I looked on YouTube, I found this executable. If we open this, there are three, there you can select a game mode, and they say, okay, if you are a free player, you can play as member by logging into this screen. Of course, I will try to intercept my password while I type it in here. So let's try to do something. So let's type in as username Sezima and as password something random, and then click on login. And here already we can see that something is wrong with the program itself. If we go to details, from details itself, we can already determine that it's probably programmed in .NET, because you can see a library system, .NET, mail, and SMTP. Also, you can see a SMTP, so which is the protocol used to send mail. So probably when you provide them a username and password and then click on the login button, it will send an email with your credentials that you have just filled in to the attacker. Okay, so first let's try to see in what programming language it has been programmed. Normally it should be .NET, as we've seen from the library, but let's see. So the xinfo op.exe is essentially a program which can read some headers of the executable and from there determine the compiler. So here we can see it has been obfuscated with the EA's obfuscator.net, so it again confirms that they use probably .NET. And we can unpack it with the de4 executable. So let's try that executable and see if we can unpack the executable. So de4 so it's a GitHub project. Let's search for binaries, and there you have the de4 . So the de4 will remove all obfuscations that are present in the executable. But let's first look at the inside of the executable itself before we go into remove the obfuscation. So to do that, we open .NET Reflector. It's a software of Redgate, and it's essentially software by which you are able to reverse engineer executables that have been compiled with .NET or C#, for example. So if we open the executable, it comes present here, and if you look at the inside of the .NET project, you can see that a lot of classes are obfuscated or contain some weird characters. Normally you would see a class like hack, or a class runscape, or a class a normal name. So we can clearly see it's obfuscated. So let's try and deobfuscate the code with the de for .executable that we just downloaded. So let's go to that directory. de4 dot, and then copy the executable in that folder. And then we type de4.exe, then between quotes we place the name of the executable. And you can see it now generated a cleaned version of that executable. If we now open it again with the PE viewer, we can see that indeed it has been programmed in either Visual Basic or C#, but there is still some obfuscation ongoing. So let's try to analyze that cleaned executable again in the reflector. Open assembly, and then we select the cleaned executable. If we look now we can see that the classes don't have a weird name anymore. So the next step is, when we open the executable, we go to the login screen, we type something, and then click on the button login. We probably expect, because of the nature of the error, that a mail is sent to the attacker's mailbox with our credentials. Now that means that somewhere in the code, the email address and the password of the attacker must be there somewhere, because if you want to send a mail to a mail server, you first need to authenticate to that server with a certain username and password. So let's try to find this in the executable itself. Then I have to think again, where did I find it? So let's see if it's in one of the methods of a form. So if we see here, this is actually called a form, and we can see that inside the executable there are 4 different forms, and each form has some methods. You can see here this method that I just selected indeed contains the username and password of the attacker. So this is actually, in short, how you can easily reverse engineer a password stealer. Of course, this was an easy one, but there are password stealers which use much more sophisticated obfuscation methods to hide their code.